Thanks so much for that's great. If anyone has any questions, I'd be more than happy to endeavour to answer them. Yeah.
Can you just give an overview on the other parts of the series, and then maybe talk about how these subjects were chosen, or maybe who was left on the cutting floor?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So that was film 1 and 2, and there's another 2 films in the series. And film 1 and 2 are more geared to, one's more introduction to how this sort of recording boom sort of like took over and just shifted the whole cultural landscape of music throughout America and the world. And then we sort of more move into 2 to go into the more earthy kind of roots of the kind of like the real kind of sort of down and out sort of aspects of that music, which kind of but led to ultimately to really fantastically, beautifully creative pieces of music. And sort of 3, which is on tomorrow night, which I hope you'll come and see, is aimed more at the sort of the melting pot that is America, and sort of moves through all these different cultures, ethnicities, all the different sort of states that gave rise to so many of these fantastic artists and songs. And then 4, which is going to be on Friday night, is our endeavour to basically pay homage to this fantastic American musical culture, and we actually rebuilt the original 1920s Western electric recording machine and amplifier rack. We have a guy, Nick Berg, who basically spent the better part of 15 years reconstructing this piece by piece, and we get to see some of our modern stars of today record some truly, in my opinion, fantastic songs. So, and then sort of in answer to your question, we sort of, when we sort of came about sort of doing American Epic, we sort of wanted to make a documentary and sort of explore all the different roots and of the music, and we felt the best way to do this was to sort of pick kind of 10 family stories, and you saw 5 this evening, that kind of captured the kind of the whole kaleidoscope and spectrum of like the different genres of music, but that ultimately came down to, as eclectic as it was, came down to people singing about their lives and their struggles, and you know, it's just, it was uninfluenced music, as Dale Jett said of the Carter family. It was just them expressing themselves, and often when they had a lot of hardship in their life, it was a way of having a voice, having a say in the world, and that wasn't discovered until 1926, when they suddenly were recorded and everyone from Louisiana could hear the person in Texas, could hear the person in Mississippi, could hear the person in Tennessee. So it was very hard to kind of pick those 10 stories, but we just kind of felt we had a lot of rich material which to explore the stories with, and that kind of always leads you as a producer and the director, Bernard McMahon. That's always a great help, but it's also just trying to get that balance of trying to get all those racial cultures and ethnicities. So, anyone else? Oh, yes?
This is meant to be broadcast on PBS, but there's no date at this point. What's the status of that?
We're working towards a release at some point this year in 2016. So, as you can see, we're pretty. That is the latest cut, actually, just fresh out of Los Angeles. So it's we're sort of there. So we're geared up to go, and we're hoping that everyone's going to get to see it across America. So we're there, and we're just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So it should be coming out in 2016. Yes, sir.
Is there a list of all the musicians you worked with, like on your website, or if you want to read more about them, or?
Yes, we have a site, www.americanepic.com, and there's quite a few press articles up on the site, and particularly for the 4th film, as mentioned, we've got a whole list of kind of archival 1920s, 1930s musicians that featured in these first 3 films. And then on the web there'll be all the modern day artists that we featured. A lot of people like Jack White and Willie Nelson came and recorded songs, as well as Taj Mahal and Steve Martin and Indy Brickell. So it's, if you're free on Friday night, I encourage you to come on down.
As sort of a coming attraction, you mentioned we saw 5 of the families already. Who are the next 5 we can look forward to?
So tomorrow night we're starting off with the Hopi Indians in Arizona, and then we move to Hawaii. So we're really kind of like getting across the geographic landscape of America. So we go from the Hopi to the Hawaiians. We'll feature Mississippi John Hurt, sort of blues folk singer from Mississippi, and also we feature the Cajuns in Louisiana, as well as the Mexicans through Lydia Mendoza and her family.
Who are the Hawaiian musicians?
Our primary story that we follow in Hawaii is Joseph Kikuku, and the sort of invention of the slide guitar. So it's a real kind of like mix tomorrow of like kind of musical styles. So I encourage you to come on down. So, anyone else? Or well, thank you again so much for coming on down, and it's going to be out in 2016, and there's going to be music releases as well. So if you enjoyed any of the music, it should be available online and through Spotify and through even the old LP. Thank you so much.